Alright, I've got my sleeve out. I made sure that the grain was even with the side, and I've traced it on. I also compared it with, oh, and do you see what I did there? I was going to do that the other way. So because my facing was face up with the back to the left, my sleeve should have been face down with the back to the right. So since I don't want to recut my sleeve, I'm going to redo that and retrace it so that I have the opposite one. If you have, yeah, because if this was a sleeve, it would have notches right here. So if you have a fabric that doesn't have a right and wrong side, it won't matter to you, but for that reason I checked the sleeve. And then I did another little thing with this because I didn't have a selvage edge. I knew which way the grain is going, and if you don't have your selvage still attached, I do clear over on the other side, so I know which one it is. But if I pull on the fabric, it doesn't stretch very much in the lengthwise grain, and if I pull in the, you know, if I'm 8 inches apart here and I come 8 inches apart here and pull on it, then I get a lot of stretch. And this is a cotton polyester fabric, so it doesn't have lycra in it. That means that the stretchy side is the cross grain and the firm side that doesn't stretch is the lengthwise grain. And then if I need to find the straight edge of the grain, I can either tear it or I can pull a thread, and I've done that. I pulled the thread all the way down here and I pulled the thread out, and you probably can't see it, but I can see a little straight line right there where I've pulled the thread out. So I'm going to cut on that line where the thread was that I pulled out. And then I will have a straight edge of my lengthwise grain. And it would work a lot easier for me if I would get the iron out and press that. But apparently I am full of bad examples today. Okay, so that's about how much I need. Now I just need to measure and make sure I have it in the right place. So that looks like almost 12 1/4, and this one is okay, 12 3/4. And up here it's also 12 3/4. So I'm going to flatten that out and put my collar on here on the center back fold, and the grain line is parallel to the fold wherever that is when you're cutting a collar, unless it's a two-piece collar. It is possible sometimes to cut the collar on a straight of grain, on the cross grain, but you saw how much it stretches, and so it isn't going to hang the same if you cut the collar on the cross grain. So I'll trace that on, and then I will do the same thing over here and cut out a second collar because I need a top and a bottom. If you made a top and bottom collar and you have two separate pieces, you'll cut one of each, and since this is half scale, that difference is a small amount, you can just cut out two, and it will be a good example of what not to do, and we'll see that on the dress form. So cut out another collar, then you'll have all of your pieces, 1, 2 collars, my sleeve, my back facing, my front armhole facing, back neck facing, back blouse, and front blouse. So cut all of those pieces out, and we'll be back with how to sew them.